Hi, Cindy here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to win your ex back by simply texting on your phone. I know there is a lot more to winning your ex back than sending some text messages. But texting can be an extremely effective method of establishing rapport, trust, and attraction with your ex, if executed correctly. But if you have no idea what you are doing, then texting your ex can be a one-way ticket to staying single and looking desperate. So watch this video to the very end if you want to learn exactly how to text your ex back correctly. Personally, I believe texting is a much safer way to communicate with your ex. It doesn't require you to have a face-to-face conversation, and it's extremely non-invasive. Your ex is free to reply to you whenever he or she wants, and you are able to reply to your ex's text whenever you want to. This sort of dynamic allows you time to think about what to say before you actually say it. I always tell people that texting is usually the best route when communicating with their exes, but in some cases, texting might not be the right move. For instance, if you and your ex never texted one another during your relationship, it might be weird to all of a sudden start texting him or her. So keep this in mind before applying the tips that I will reveal in this video. Now, before I get started with what to text your ex, I'm going to first teach you what not to do, so you know right off the bat what you absolutely should not do if you want to get your ex back through texting. And let me tell you, I can say that the vast majority of people commit these huge texting errors, and these mistakes can sometimes decimate any chance of rekindling a relationship with an ex. I always like the saying, when emotions run high, logic runs low. When you are reeling from a tough breakup, chances are you are not thinking clearly. You are heartbroken, desperate, depressed, and you are just not yourself. And most importantly, you are not thinking logically. And when logic goes out the window, people tend to send three kinds of bad text messages. These are text messages that you might be guilty of, so it's important you listen closely to what I'm about to say. The first kind of bad text message people like to send to their ex after a breakup is what I call the hate text. While venting can be therapeutic, saying mean things to your ex will ruin your chances of ever rebuilding a relationship with him or her. If you find yourself angry with your ex, then give yourself a moment to cool down before you pick up your phone. While being angry and emotional is completely normal for a person in your situation, it's wise to not act on these emotions if you want to win your ex back. I mean, what is your goal right now? To get in that one last shot at your ex? Or to win them back and make them love you again? Think about it this way, people tend to gravitate towards things that make them feel good, and if your ex associates negative feelings with you, the less likely it is they will feel attracted to you again, let alone talk to you. So take a chill pill, relax, and live to fight another day. The second bad text or bad text messages, I should say, are what I like to call spam texts. When emotions are running high and you are feeling desperate, all you want to do is just pick up your phone and start texting your ex non-stop. The problem is, nobody likes spam, and nobody wants to talk to someone who's frantic and desperate. Put yourself in the shoes of someone who is receiving 20 or 30 messages a day from someone you don't even want to talk to. Maybe you've even been there yourself. Annoying, right? One friend told me that he sent 67 text messages over the course of 2 days to his ex without getting a single reply, and needless to say, this man didn't get his ex back. No surprise there. The last texting no-no is the overly emotional text. These are texts that come across as extremely needy. Anything along the lines of, "You broke my heart," or "I don't think I can love another again." Stuff like that will kill any sort of attraction that your ex has of you. At the time, you might think that these text messages sound honest and sweet, but in reality, showing neediness to such a high degree will drive your ex far, far away. By sending any of these three text messages, you turn yourself into what I call the texting terrorist. You are forcing your ex to feel hurt and annoyed by you, and in some cases, you will even scare your ex off completely. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, oh crap, I totally made all of these texting mistakes. Am I screwed, or is there a chance to save my situation? The quick answer is yes, there is a chance you can recover from these mistakes, and there is a chance you can get back on the road of winning your ex back, but you will have to follow my instructions very carefully. If you've committed some of these errors, then it's important to get your ex back to what I call emotional neutral. Right now, your ex is feeling annoyed or angered by your text messages. So the next logical step is to remove all the negative feelings your ex has of you by sending a quick apology text and employing the no contact strategy. If this is the first video you've seen by me, the no contact involves not contacting your ex for a certain period of time. You've probably seen some relationship gurus here on YouTube disagree with this strategy, but through my experience and research, the no contact strategy is absolutely necessary in most situations. There are certain exceptions to this rule, but for the huge majority of you, no contact is a must. So if you've been sending any of these hurtful or desperate text messages, the quickest way to get your ex to rebound is to first send a quick apology text, something quick and short. Say something like, "Sorry I've been emotional the last few days. Other things have been stressing me on top of this breakout, and I lashed out. Wish you luck." And that's it. This text message accomplishes two things. You apologize to your ex, and you give yourself an excuse for acting inappropriately. After you send this, you must engage in no contact for a period of at least 30 days. It doesn't matter if your ex texts you back or asks you how you are doing. When I say no contact, I really do mean no contact. So literally 0 text messages during this time. This is very important for several reasons. See, right now your ex thinks that you are chasing him or her. They think that they have all the power, and that if they wanted to, they could have you back whenever they wanted. So what you need to do is to take that power away from them so that they begin to start chasing you instead. For example, imagine your ex sends you a message 15 days into the no contact period, and he or she gets no reply for several days. Your ex will start constantly checking his or her phone, waiting for a response. This will make your ex emotional, and he or she will wonder why you are not replying. And this is exactly why no contact works so perfectly. It turns the tables upside down and makes your ex want to talk to you. Of course, no contact is only a small step towards getting your ex back. A lot of men and women ask me, how long should my no contact period be? And the answer to that fully depends on the severity of your breakup. How much begging and pleading did you do directly after the breakup? Did you send angry text messages to him or her? Did you send any of the 3 so-called bad text messages I described earlier? Ask yourself these questions and be honest with yourself. If you committed several of these errors and you know your ex is annoyed or angry at you, you probably need to wait more than 30 days. In some cases, I recommend clients not contact their ex for 60 days or more. Again, this all depends on his or her specific situation. So let's fast forward this timeline and say that you've done everything perfectly. You quickly apologized, you engaged in no contact, and you did all of the other things. So what now? How do you go from no contact to having a positive conversation with your ex? And by the way, that is the goal right now. At this point in time, your only goal should be to establish a positive bond with your ex. You are not going to make them fall madly in love with you again just by sending a few messages to them, but building rapport is a crucial beginning. So what kind of text should you be sending? I will go through 3 kinds of text messages that are sure to establish a good basis for reconnecting with your ex for the sake of making this video brief. Text number 1 is something that I like to call my big interest text message. Remember, nobody wants to receive a super boring text like "Hey" or "What's up?" Not only do these texts lack purpose, but it doesn't make your ex feel any emotions at all. You want to send something that makes them feel good, and that has actual value. To let you know what I mean, let's jump into an example of a big interest text message. You could send your ex something like, "Hey, just heard that the Foo Fighters are coming into town in June. Just remembered how much you love them. Hope everything is going well." And that's it. For now, this is all you need to send to your ex to eventually get started and reconnect. So why does this text message work? Well, for one, you have a very clear purpose as to why you are texting your ex. You are not begging, you are not pleading or getting angry. You are simply letting him or her know about something that might be a huge interest to them. Secondly, you don't force a conversation. You end the reply with, "Hope everything is going well." Your ex can reply to your text, or they can simply ignore it if they want, but if you did everything correctly up until this point, you should be getting a positive response from your ex. The second icebreaker text message is a little more advanced, so use it with caution. I call it my good reminder text message. The goal of this text message is to remind your ex of a positive experience you two shared while you were together, without appearing awkward or weird. Let's jump into an example text. You could say something like, "Hey, remember that amazing dinner we had on the corner of Beach Street? What was the name of that restaurant again? I want to take a friend there." Depending on where you were with your ex, this message can do wonders. In this particular text message, you are reminding your ex of the amazing dinner you two shared together, and this will force your ex to think about that positive experience. Secondly, this text message is great because it incites a little bit of jealousy and mystery. Your ex might be thinking, "Who are you taking to dinner and why?" Again, this text message is extremely effective if you send it at the right time. If you feel like your ex is still annoyed by you, then sending this text will only ensure that you won't get a reply back. The third text message is one of my favorites. It's called the smile text. Now, this text message should only be used if you handled your breakup properly, you didn't beg or plead, and you didn't get angry. Let's jump into an example, shall we? Say something like, "I just stumbled upon my old copy of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and it made me think about you for the first time in a while, and it put a smile on my face." Again, like the last two text messages, your text message has a purpose. You are trying to reel your ex emotionally with something positive and interesting. You are not trying to stir up any drama or set the world on fire, you are simply reconnecting and building rapport. Attraction, love, romance, and so on are things that will come much later in this process. Hopefully, if you've done everything correctly, your ex will respond to you in a positive way, but there are a few things you need to remember when trying to carry a conversation with him or her. Rule number 1, put a delay in between all of your text messages. At this point, you will want to appear as calm as possible, and putting a solid delay in between text messages can do just that. So instead of replying to his or her text messages right away, wait an hour or more. This will create some level of anticipation in your ex, and will also help remove any sort of desperate or needy sentiment your ex may still have of you. Also, if you've just reconnected after the no contact period, then you should only be exchanging a few text messages a day, no more than 6 or 7 text messages in any given day. Rule number 2, keep your replies brief, but don't forget some basic principles. If you were to send huge, long, rambling text messages, you might appear a little desperate for attention. So keep the text messages as short as possible, but not so short that you kill the conversation. Keep talking about things that interest your ex and ask honest questions. Rule number 3, never bring up any drama. Don't talk about your past relationship, don't ask who they are dating right now, and don't try and argue with your ex. The goal here is to remain positive so that your ex will want to meet up with you. So now that we've established some rules, how do you go from texting your ex to dating your ex? Well, first things first, you need to establish a quick meetup. No, you don't want to ask your ex out on a date or anything like that, but you will want to have a quick coffee or hangout with your ex at some point. The best way to do this is to make sure you have a very good reason to want to see your ex. For example, say you've been texting your ex back and forth for a few days, and you want to finally take it to the next level and set up a coffee hangout. Don't just ask them to go out for coffee, this could set off alarm bells inside your ex's mind. You will want to have an excuse to meet up with your ex. Let me jump right into an example text before I explain. You could say something like, "By the way, I'm planning a trip to Australia at the end of January and could need some advice. Since I know you've been there, it would be awesome if you could give me some pointers. Can we grab a quick coffee this Friday? I would really appreciate it." And here's another example. I'm redesigning my living room and was wondering if you could give me a few pointers. I know you've always been good with interior design stuff. Could we grab a quick 20-minute coffee? Something simple and straightforward is a perfect way to set the tone. You will want to appear friendly for now. Any sort of flirting or suggestion of romance might scare your ex. So for now, just set up a meeting. Once you learn how to do this, you will be able to start pushing your ex's psychological hot buttons and make them fall for you again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully you've learned something in this video, but if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to comment below, and I will do my best to get back to you. Thanks, and I will see you soon.